So hey everyone, long time no see. So now's that time of year again, we're doing another DragonCon vlog. This year we got in kind of late on Thursday because we were waiting to the last minute to finish all our cosplays. Well, I say wait, really, we just had a lot to do. And this year the Hilton theme was like Rainbow Road, so there was a lot of Mario stuff everywhere and like photo booths and stuff for people to do and try out. I had a club meeting in the lobby area this evening, and so I went straight there after getting my badge. So I can't believe I didn't get any like really good photos or videos of my badge ribbons before I handed them all out. I only got this one that I like sent to a friend of mine at like at midnight. So not the best picture, but one of the things that people like doing at DragonCon is they like making badge ribbons and hang them out to people. There's even a club for it, and I went to one of their like meetups and stuff and hand out a bunch of ribbons, like most of them. So this year I made Depression Barbie, obviously, so it was really popular because there was a bunch of Barbie cosplayers this year. I think next year I'm gonna get more because I only got 150 and I ran out pretty quickly. So the only panel I really got to go to this day, because we got there so late, was one of the late night ones. And the late night ones tend to be a little more adult. And so this is a cringy fan fiction reading. So people got to come up there and read off their fan fiction. The cringier, the better. Some of it was really cringy and was just a lot of fun to listen to.
But I do like to let people see that I would do it if nobody else wants to do it. So you can feel comfortable putting your cringe out there. So this story is called Breaking the Black Myth, and it was my fanfic of Persephone and Hades before the one that's out now. So they're unrelated. The really popular one that I haven't read because I'll get obsessed. That one, yep, don't ask me about it. It's more than just. Yeah. So I would like to say that I was the first person to write fanfic about Persephone.
And then after that, we went to go hang out with some friends that we don't get to see very often. So it was really nice to see them, and we would go up to the first floor of the Marriott and just kind of look down and see all the costumes and watch all the people and everything, but from a nice safe distance where we're not going to get bumped. So the next day was Friday, our first full day at the con. We started off with waiting in line for the vendor mall. We normally don't go this early, but we both really wanted stuff that usually sells out. Like I wanted Marriott carpet fabric and my husband wanted the special edition dice. And so we got in line as soon as we could. We only waited about 30 minutes, which is pretty good. We headed straight to the dice booth, but it was pretty crowded. So here's some footage from last year of all the dice. And here's our dice haul. These really pretty, like, iridescent ones. This is my set, or one of my sets. It has like some purple and some red in it. So pretty. Here's my other set. It's like purple and glitter. Oh, I thought it was so pretty. I couldn't decide between the two, so I got both. And look, they do a trick. My husband got these for fireballs. And of course, they are like a clear orange with some yellow in them. They're very pretty. And here's the limited edition like dice for the year. We've gotten one of these nearly every year. They sold out really quickly last year, so we didn't get one last year. And here's my husband's other set. These are so pretty. They're clear with like some like ink droplets in them of like blue and seafoam. And look, they also do a trick. Next we went to a booth that had a bunch of like miniatures and some statues and stuff. I thought this forest dragon looked really cool. And of course, we couldn't leave without a croc. I don't know where we're going to put that in our apartment. And I got a little blind bag. I got the little yellow one. You see there? Next, we saw this really cool statue from Lord of the Rings. It was huge. And finally, we found the Marriott carpet fabric. My ultimate goal is to have like one item of clothing with this fabric that I made to wear every day of the con. So it's kind of hard to explain why this is such a thing at DragonCon. This used to be the pattern for the Marriott carpet in the Marriott Hotel, which is one of the main hotels. And they ripped it up a couple years ago. And so people, I guess, have been making costumes and being obsessed with it ever since. But it always sells out really quickly, and I wanted to make sure I got some. Saw some book themed lockets. I almost got one. I just could not decide which book to get. I thought it'd be really mean to get this Death Note one and put someone's picture in it. That seems really mean. Anyway, here's the crowd when we left. Notice it got a lot more crowded. That's the line that we're used to. Next, we went to a panel about the psych evaluation of poison ivy, which was probably one of my favorite panels at the con. So interesting. Then we got in line for something called D&D Live, which is like a D&D session done live. Think sort of like Critical Role. And someone actually got engaged in this line. And since it was for something like D&D, we actually saw a lot of Jester and other cosplays from Critical Role like this one. There's so many people here.
Your guide in a realm of swords and sorcery, of mazes and monsters, of dungeons, and yes, of dragons.
Next, we went to sea shanties, which basically is what it sounds like. We just got in a bunch of room people dressed as pirates and sang sea shanties. Now, I'm not sure how much of this I can show without getting YouTube all mad at me for showing music, so I'm going to show this as little as possible, but still give you a taste of the sea shanties. This first one was really fun to sing aloud.
Hey, up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises early in the morning.
And then the last one is my absolute favorite sea shanty. I'm sure y'all have heard of it because I hear it on TikTok all the time.
But the ship was a belly of tea. The winds blew up and bowed it down. Blow me, bully boys, row. Soon may the weathermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tongue is done, we'll take our leave and go.
And then we ended the night with some pizza, which we walked really far for and was totally worth it. So the next day is Saturday, which is the peak DragonCon, the busiest day. And so I started off my day going back to the vendor mall to get my badge signed by the artist while Sam was in the parade. I got a little sidetracked. I found an artist that Sam and I really wanted a poster from last year, but she was completely sold out of the one we wanted. And I found her again this year, and luckily she was not sold out, and so I got it. We really wanted the One Punch Man poster last time, but she was sold out. So I got that, and then it was buy two, get one free, so I couldn't say no to those two Critical Role posters. Got the Mighty Nine and Vox Machina, because look at Trinket. Too cute. And after I got my badge signed, I kind of just meandered around, looked around. Aren't these pretty? And then afterwards, after the parade, Sam and I met up with some friends. We were on the way to get some food, and then we found the One Piece Netflix series truck, and they were handing out free ice cream. It was really good. I have since then started watching the show, and it's so much better than I expected, because after Cowboy Bebop, I did not have much hope for Netflix doing anime adaptations. And then we went to the Vortex for lunch. And I wore a halter top that I made in under 30 minutes. I made it while Sam was packing a bag on Thursday when we left for DragonCon. And then we got some tater tots with gravy, cheese, and bacon. It was so good. And then something called the Southern Mess chicken sandwich, which is also really good and really messy. And then we kind of just people watched for a little bit while we waited for like the more evening things to start up. Because we knew it was going to be a late night, and so we didn't want to tire ourselves out. Then we met up with my friend Kara to go to a panel about the BFFs in the MCU. And it was a really fun panel. It really was talking about the friendship dynamics and everything in MCU and how they tell parts of the story without going in and actually telling and showing those parts of the story. But it's kind of hard to explain. But it was a really fun panel. I think my favorite BFFs in the MCU would probably be Steve and Bucky, which I think is like a pretty basic answer, but come on. They've been friends forever. Literally. Though I do think they could probably delve into that a little more. Like, I feel like they don't have enough, like, inside jokes. And I feel like two best friends have known each other for as long as Steve and Bucky have would have a lot more. And I feel like they don't show that very much. But maybe I'm just forgetting because of, honestly, there's millions of movies and shows. And I'm probably forgetting something. I don't know. So then my husband and I went back to our room, took a nice nap, and changed into our cosplays for the night. I'm very proud of this. I made my husband's poncho, which you really can't see very well in this photo. And then I made my jacket. And then I also altered my boots. You can't really see them in this photo very well, but I added a really thick red stripe in the back because they were a bit tight on my legs. However, I think next year, if we wear these costumes again, we're going to get new boots because neither of our boots were very comfortable. So we probably will get new ones for next year. But this is us posing in one of the mini photo booth opportunities at the con. So a little bit of a history lesson here. When pirates were bored on the pirate ship, because let's be honest, they were probably bored out of their minds, they would have these mock trials for each other to pass the time. And so this improv group comes to DragonCon and basically does these same mock trials, and it's a lot of fun.
Next pirates, I need your help. You have to pronounce your last name for me. This is Smitty. Gorman Jaeger on
It's Dutch.
Yeah, he didn't want to correct who it was! How dare you?
Hey, great bubbles on those jackets. That's really going to help you float in the sea.
They even roasted my brother-in-law. After that, we went to the Hilton, which is one of the host hotels, and kind of just meandered a bit. We went to the porch area, which is kind of where they have photo shoots and parties and stuff. So we just went up there to see what was going on. You can get a better view of my husband's poncho now. But yeah, this is where they have the photo shoots. So this one is going on right now. I'm not really sure what he is. They also have parties. This one's starting to die down a little bit because they're about to close this side down so they can clean it. So it's kind of dying down. There's also other photo shoots going on in like the corners and everything like that, like this one. And then we went back inside. Bunch of Star Trek red shirts pretending to be dead on the floor. Just a usual night at DragonCon. Then we went to one of the big parties for like a few minutes. This was the last party in Alderaan, which is the Star Wars themed party. And then that was it. And then it was Sunday, the last full day of the con. And on our way to our first panel, you saw this guy dressed as Gulliver from Animal Crossing. I was like, oh, maybe he's giving away swag. And he was. He gave me some coins and then told me to go find Daisy to get some turnips. And it's a cute little charm. Then we went to our panel, which was about puppetry and Star Wars, which was really fascinating. And then we went back up to the Hilton rooftop area, again like we were last night, just to kind of like look at costumes and see what photo shoots were going on. And I met this person dressed up as the Cabbage Guy from Last Airbender and had to get us some pictures. And here's one of the cool cars that's always there, and someone brought like miniature versions of it and put it next to it. I thought that was pretty funny. And then I met up with my friend Kara again, and we went to this Barbie dance thing where they were going to teach us the dance from the Barbie movie, but it was packed. And it was so hot in there that she and I just noped out of there after 10 minutes and just kind of hung out instead for a while. We decided we're going to do like a girls' night in and just learn the moves ourselves in one of our living rooms with AC and plenty of room to move and breathe, and it was going to be so much nicer. So we just spent the rest of that time just hanging out until I had to leave to go help my husband get into his Mandalorian kit so he could do a con crawl with his costume club. And then my husband and I went to go people watch for a little bit before we went to go meet up with our other friends for another panel, which is hard to explain without sounding really weird, but it's become sort of a tradition with our group to go to this panel called Blinking Beasties. It's really hard to explain without sounding really weird, honestly, but just trust me, it's fun. Like I mentioned before, the panels at night can get a little crazy. My husband missed the last bit of the panel because he went to go to another party, because we all kind of agreed that this panel this year wasn't as good as last year, so he left a little early. He went to go meet up with some other friends.
Here before, Megan. So, Megan Mackey, and I am Holly, genre author. I have worked on that for a few weeks. I write urban fantasy, cyberpunk, post zombie apocalypse, wannabe superhero, mid-grade science fiction about Pavlov's dog and Schrodinger's cat, paranormal romance, space western, and steampunk. Also underneath the pen name Aria Schuyler, I do also write smut because COVID was boring. And for someone no one here knows.
Hi, I'm Jim Butcher, the author of the Resident Files.
We already did that.
We only have so much time, folks.
And most of my smut was written on mushes in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And
So afterwards, we all met up with him at the party, which was another rooftop party, but this one is for the Mandalorian Merc, which is a Star Wars costume club that my husband and my brother-in-law are members of. And I had a lot of fun, met a lot of new people, and just really enjoyed it. And when that started dying down, my husband and I went to another party for like a little bit, and then we decided to call it a night because we were exhausted. And now it's Monday, the last day. Start off my day by sneaking out of our hotel room and going to my first panel because Sam and Vodsel hadn't woken up yet. They didn't want to wake them up. So I went to a panel on making corsets, which was being done by some people who make costumes and film in different industries and stuff here in Atlanta and all over. Making Sam and I's Star Wars costumes this year made me realize that I really do enjoy sewing. I want to get more into it. So I wanted to go to as many sewing panels as I could. It did seem like all of them were on Monday, or at least all the ones that I felt were relevant to me anyway. And I really enjoyed this panel. I feel like I learned a lot. It definitely made me realize I really want a serger.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. You can come up and look at these also because there is, and we will talk about it more, there is what is called a waist stay. And that is that, what is also called Peter sham. You get into all that goes around the waist for stability. Because look what it does. So it helps.
So here are some of the corsets they brought in. Just different examples of different techniques and different materials they were talking about in their panel. So there was a little miscommunication on when our checkout time was, and so I rushed back to try and pack up everything so we could leave. I thought we were leaving at 2. Really, our checkout was at noon. Oops. Luckily, I have an incredibly loving husband who was willing to take all our crap back to our apartment and let me stay at the con for a little longer, and then he would pick me up from the train station. So after everything was lugged into the Uber, I went on to my next panel, which was another sewing panel. This one was all about how to work with different difficult materials, which was super informative. I have more notes from this panel than I do some college courses I took. And I really learned a lot about what I did wrong in the costumes I made, because I broke a needle and I didn't know why, and now, thanks to this panel, I know why. At this panel, I ended up running into someone else I kind of knew. It was a girl that I met in line for Boinking Beasties. We talked the whole time we were in line, and so it was nice seeing a semi-familiar face. So we hung out for a little bit after the panel was over. Then after that, I got on the MARTA and went on home. So that's the end of my video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. I really want to get back into making videos. I haven't done it in forever. But if you like this video, please like and comment if you want to see more like it. But hit that subscribe button. Bye!